Hello, my wonderful students. This is my attempt to help you out a little bit with chord symbols and how to read chord changes in our jazz band. The sun is out really good today, so and my desk faces a window, which I normally love, but it's not great for lighting for recording. So if I look super strange, that's why. This is going to be just kind of quick, and I'm going to tell you that this is an area that I don't feel super confident in reading. I can figure it out, but it's just not an area of music that I've spent a lot of time sort of becoming proficient in. So that may discourage you or it may encourage you. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad musician. It means that this is an area of music that I have not applied myself to really heavily. So there's just, we're all in different spots. But I do think that this will help you at least get started if you're super brand new to this. So the first thing I'm going to do is share with you one of my screens. This is just a whiteboard. And if you have never ever made a chord before, you should probably start watching some of my other videos on my channel. So search Lisa Lalainen on YouTube, and I know that I have one on building tonic triads, and that will get you started. This is just my quick review, assuming that you already know how to do a basic chord. Okay, so chords are built usually by stacking the thirds on top of each other. Thirds are the interval of a thirds. Okay, so you may have heard these called snowman chords because when they're written in whole notes, they just stack on top of each other and they look like a snowman. So if we're in the key of C and we want a C major chord, we're going to think about the scale, the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We're going to skip every other note. So C, skip D, E, skip F, and G. And then we just add the C on the top. So because I play a wind instrument and can only play one note at a time, it is really impossible for me to play a whole chord, but I can outline the chord. So I would play C, E, G, C, G, E, C, and that is a major chord. Okay. If you play piano or bells or some other key, instrument or guitar that you can play all of the notes at once, yeah, certainly put them all together, and that's still a C major chord. So on the bottom line, it doesn't matter if they're spread apart, outline style, or melodic style, or put together all like harmonic. Okay, so we get a lot of information from chord symbols, and some of it can get really crazy. They all basically have the same information at their core. They give you the name, the quality, and any extensions that are involved. So I'm going to go through a few of them, and then we'll see, like in Mofongo, see this in actual real life, and hopefully that'll give you a little bit more information, at least where to start. So if we have G major seventh written down, the name of the chord and the scale that we're going to be thinking of is G. Okay, so our G scale, I hope you know, is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So this major seventh means we're going to use the G major scale and we're going to add the seventh tone. It can also be written with a triangle, a small little triangle, instead of this MAJ thing. Okay. That tells you to use the notes that naturally occur in the scale. So we have a G, B, D, and F sharp because of this major thing, and because in a major scale starting on G, you have an F sharp. If it just simply says G7, then it's going to use the flat seventh because now we're talking about a dominant chord. Dominant chords are built on the fifth scale degree, so we're actually using the C scale here, and the C does not have the F sharp in it, it's just an F. So we're going to use a flat 7 because of all of that extra theory. If I just lost some of you, just kind of file that away. And as we go through more theory in intermediate band, some of that will start making some sense to you. If you really want to know, search my channel because I've got stuff on that too. In Mofongo, we've got some other things going on. We have basically in the solo section these two chords. We have a D minor sixth built on the D minor scale. D minor is a relative to F major. So we're looking at one flat in the key signature. So we have D, F, A, and the sixth, this is the fifth, A is the fifth, right? D, E, F, G, A, that's the fifth. The sixth would be a B flat, and it is B flat because of this minor. We're using the minor chord or minor scale. Okay, so that one's not too complex, even though it looks a little crazy. This A7, first we build that. We know it's going to start on A, and we're using kind of this major idea here. So A, C sharp, E is, shoot, I forgot a note when I wrote this. Hang on just a minute, see if I'm gonna probably have to do this over. Sorry, I thought I had this all set. So A, C sharp, E is your basic. We need a seventh, so we're just going to do G, and this does not say major. It doesn't have a triangle. It's just one of these kind. So we're actually just going to use G, not a G sharp, because we're building it off, not off the A major scale. So hopefully that didn't totally confuse you. Now we're to this flat 9 part. The ninth scale degree in A is what? Hopefully you came up with B, and it has a flat by it, so we're going to have B flat. So B would be the naturally occurring one. The flat 9 would be a B flat. Whew, whew. That one was kind of crazy. Sorry about that. There are tons of other things in chord building that you will encounter, and some of them for us, as most just soloing, it doesn't matter a whole lot. Some of them have to do with in what order you put the notes in. So if you see a slash mark here, then whatever comes after that slash mark means that the bass is going to play that note. So like if it's a G over D, we're using a G chord. The D is going to be on the bottom, and there's probably more to that also, but I know that when I'm playing my bass and I'm reading chords and I'm trying to build a bass line, then it is very good for me to pay attention to this, because that's the note I should be playing on the bass, at least at the beginning of it. Okay, there you can probably figure out that there's lots of craziness that can happen. There's so much to learn about chord symbols and the way they are presented that can be terrifying, but also it's exciting because there's always more to learn. The good news for you as somebody starting out, if this is just all pretty new to you, then you can know for certain that if you know what chord or what scale you're using and what the notes are in that scale, even if you don't understand all the extensions and what note starts on the bottom and all of that kind of thing, you can do a very good solo with just that information. Okay, so you don't have to know everything to begin. And that's kind of the takeaway I want you to get from this. There's lots to learn. There's lots of theory behind why they're written the way they are. And you can access that information even if you don't know everything yet. The last thing I'm going to share with you is my excerpt from Mofongo. So here's what I put together before for you guys to practice the solo section. And here's our D minor sixth and the A7 flat 9. And I want you to be able to see what's going on in the rhythm section behind those. So we said our D minor 6 is going to have D, F, A, and B flat. So let's see, here's a D, here's an A, we need an F, there's an F, and here's a B flat. Okay. Okay, so those notes are represented in the rhythm section. When we switch to the A7 flat 9, here's the A on the bottom. Okay, C sharp, E, there's that flat 7th, and then we need a flat 9, which we said was what note? What is the 9th? There's a B, and it is represented right here. There's that B flat. It's tied over from the bar before. Okay, going back to this G, if this had a triangle in front of this, or if it said major instead of just the 7 by itself, this G would be a G sharp, like that. So then you would have your A, C sharp, E. If you play a G sharp because you're just looking at the A major scale and you know that the A major scale has a G sharp in it, it's going to sound pretty crunchy because the rhythm section is hopefully reading this correctly and realizing that you need the flat 7 on there because this is not a tonic chord. So we're not really using the A, we're using the D scale, and there is no G sharp in D. So it's not going to be earth shattering. You're not going to be ostracized from the world of jazz forever if you use the G sharp, but it will not sound like you understand the chord because you don't. So it'll just be kind of clashing. And some people do this on purpose for just a little bit and then resolve it to add some more tension. But really, if you're trying to really stay in the changes, then you need to make sure you understand that that's the dominant 7th chord and not a tonic 7th. Okay. The good news for you in Mofongo is that there's only those 2 chords that you have to deal with. Okay. The bad news for you, or the challenging news maybe is a better way to say it, is that I did not transpose all this for all of you wind players. Jazz band is a high level class and you need to do some work. So you need to be responsible if you play saxophone or trumpet to do the transposing yourself for your instrument. So hopefully from the other classes you understand what the transposition is for your instrument and you can make that happen. And make sure that you follow the same rules. There's a couple ways to go about this. You could take these chords and transpose every note. I think that's maybe cumbersome. I would just transpose the chord symbols, and you probably have those written down already, because I think we tried to do that in class, and then just build the chord from that, because I think it'll make better sense chord-wise if you're already in your key when you're thinking about it. If you run into a stumbling block on this and you absolutely cannot figure it out, and you have honestly tried, then email me about it and we'll set something up and we'll get some more help, because I truly do want you to be able to do this, but I don't want to just spoon feed it to you. So you can figure it out. I'm pretty sure you guys are all pretty smart. So hopefully that helped a little bit. It's just a starting place. Remember, there's tons of stuff for this. So you're going to have lots of chord work ahead of yourself if you get into this pretty deeply. We're all in different spots of this journey and learning how to do this. So wherever you are, just keep going, right? This is my encouragement to you. You can do it on some level. Even if you just play the big letter, if it says B and you just play a B, you're gonna be good. it won't be maybe as interesting as if you add all the notes of the chord and hop around, but you can do an excellent chord on one note, or an excellent solo on one note. That's all I have for you today. Good luck.